Textile and Leather Garment Workers Union expressed surprise at a new government directive to suspend the activities of a task force supposed to be checking pirated textiles on the market.
The Minister of Trade to allow a moratorium of the work of the Piracy Task Force in order that together with the market queens, they can carry out education to the women about the effect that pirated textiles have on our textile industries.
President Mahama, at a meeting with market leaders this week, asked that the operations of the task force be suspended until March. The market women are expected to be educated on how to distinguish between pirated textiles and genuine ones.
I'm going to ask the Minister of Trade to allow a moratorium of the work of the Piracy Task Force in order that together with the market queens, they can carry out education to the women about the effect that pirated textiles have on our textile industries. If they can spend another 3 months and go to all the markets and educate the women, show them the different types of textiles and how to determine the pirated textiles so that the women are aware that, you're not allowed to do this. I think that it should help the situation.
My name is Bright Nana Amfo, and welcome to today's big story. Thanks so much for staying there. Let me go to the phone lines. Deputy Minister of Trade, Honorable Neil Lanti van der Poel, has just joined me on this very particular issue of the suspension of the mandate of the task force on pirated textiles. Honorable Neil Lanti, thanks so much for your time.
Hello, good evening.
First of all, what might have gone into the decision to ask the task force to stop work for the meantime?
Well, thank you very much. Your line is very faint, but if I clearly heard what you said, is what might have gone into the decision to suspend the activities of the task force.
Exactly.
Am I right?
You are right.
Well, thank you very much, and good evening to your viewers. The Ministry of Trade and Industry came to the conclusion that coming to the end of the year, there's a need for us to proactively review the performance of the task force with a view that we will be able to take a much more firmer policy decision that will lead to us protecting Ghanaian industry and also protecting Ghanaian jobs, and as well as also protecting the traders. We've had series of let me say petitions, series of complaints about the work of the task force. The task force themselves have also raised issues of frustration in their work. Sometimes they think that official support for their work was minimal. So all this, it is normal that when you introduce a policy, after a time you need to review the policy and then look at what what action to take next. So that's exactly what we have done. The ministry has decided that we're going to take a review. We are going to critically analyze the performance of the task force to come out with much more effective decisions that will make the work of the task force much more easier, much more effective, and much more friendlier.
We took the decision to set up a task force based on the fact that the local textile industry was suffering as a result of pirated textiles. Now, in asking the task force to stop its work, did we take a look at what these local textile manufacturing companies would be made to go through?
Well, if you had the opportunity of reading our press release, the fact that the task force work is temporarily suspended does not mean that we are not going to evolve other mechanisms to effectively protect Ghanaian textiles from pirated textiles. We still are going to do our work, but there are so many ways of doing a particular work and achieving results. You may use different mechanisms, different modes,
right,
but you may achieve the same result. And that's exactly what we are doing for now. We're trying to get a task force, look at the task force and the way they do their things. We are going to review that in 4 months. But then we are adopting another strategy, which will effectively monitor the same things we have asked the task force to do, so that we'll be able to achieve the results, the same results that we are looking for, possibly maybe much more effective than what we have seen so far. Because the task force have been working, but still we're getting these pirated textiles coming into our market. So decisions are not always cast in stone. You take a decision, after a period, you look at the decision, you take a review, and you want to implement the same decision again, or maybe change the modus operandi. So all these things are things that we are looking at. As early as Monday next week, all the stakeholders, which constitute the task force, also the traders, the ministry, national security, all will be having a meeting in order to analyze and review the work of the task force so far, together with the customs and SSS and the Revenue Service, all the others, Ghana Revenue Authority. So we will do, all the decision we will take will be that which will be in the best interest of Ghana, that will be in the best interest of Ghana industry, that will be in the best interest of Ghanaian textile, and that will also be in the interest of the traders in the textile sector.
Right. Well, hold the line for me. The Textile Workers Union is quite disturbed about this very decision to ask the task force to hold on with their work. Let me speak to the Secretary General, Abraham Kumsin. He's just joined this discussion. Mr. Kumsin, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you, my brother.
The Deputy Trade Minister thinks that there is a need to, a decision has been taken to ask the task force to stop its work. A new look is done at what it has been doing and how to reform it and make it better. And so they've been asked to halt their activities now. The Textile Workers Union, first of all, how do you react to this decision?
Thank you, my brother. You see, we have been in this business for so many years now. The union took up this matter since 1990, when the manufacturers themselves realized that government was not responding to their concerns. And so some of them decided to fold up, relocate. Some of them had to retrench and maintain a few workers that they can manage. And as a unions do not only go to negotiate for big salaries and all that. Sometimes you must also show concern and partner employers to sustain their business, so we can also remain in employment. So when we started this in 1990, to the time that we even went to Parliament to meet the Parliamentary Committee on trade and industry also. And we've done all these things. Promises were given by the Parliament, and nothing was happening. Then fortunately, 2010, we got the Honorable Hannah Tete to set up this task force. And since then, we were working until recently that this year, the task force, activities were stalled. So I say that they are telling us that we shouldn't go to the market, we should go to the warehouses, and that when we go to the market, the women get scared. If you are doing a general business in the market, why do you get scared? If you are not doing any bad thing and you see a policeman passing, why do you panic? You see, so me to cut a very long matter short, what I'm saying is that we should have, the stakeholders should have been consulted. We should have met to discuss the way forward. If, some people complain about harassment, and me, I've been part of this exercise before. I was going to the market. If you go there, and women, well-built women, will come and hold you, they want to beat you up. I don't have the strength to engage them. So normally what we do is that you go with the police to protect everybody. We don't go there to go and harass them. You see, so me, I think that if they want to cancel the task force, if that is government wants that, but I think that they want to create jobs, they want to create a congenial environment for business to grow, so they can employ. But if they think that the best way to create jobs and depend on internal revenue is by scrapping the industries and then depend on the market women, that's okay. So we are tired about this thing. So if they think that it will encourage the growth of the economy, that's okay. I'm tired. I don't think that we will have to even waste my energy and time.
Mr. Akumsin, what do you think? The Deputy Trade Minister is saying that there's a need to take another look at the work of the task force and perhaps come back with a better reformed strategy. That is what he's thinking.
What better? You see, we talk about experience. I'm not a new person in the system. I was employed in the industry since 1971. 71. I got into the union 1981. And we have partnered employers to fight to get things done better for them to remain in business. So we can also remain in employment. This did not work till 2010. When government realized that no, why don't we put in place this task force and the vetting committee that could help? Because we have the custom officers all over. But you see, the calls that come, they don't pass through entry points that are manned by custom officers. Most of the time, they use unapproved routes to understand and bring them inside here. And so it is really possible for any security arrangement to be made that it will stop this call from coming into town. It will come. So our work is to go there and go and also make sure that this didn't start under this regime. It has been there. 2003, for instance, under the MPP regime, we had series of workshops, and just to help to deal with the situation. And the understanding was that we were to go to the sales, the point of sale. What is the point of sale? If you are telling us to go to the warehouses, where are the warehouses?
So, Mr. Akumsin, you are suggesting that the best strategy is to go to the market and seize them.
That's it.
Okay, hold the line for me. All right.
Right.
Mr. Akumsin, hold the line for me. Let me go back to the Deputy Trade Minister, Honorable Neil Lanté van der Poel, is on the line. Now, Honorable Neil Lanté, you told us that a meeting is arranged for next week to get all stakeholders. Now, is it possible that the meeting will discuss what the Textile Workers Union are raising, the concern that the best place to stop this practice is the market because the pirated textiles get into the country not through approved routes? Hello, Honorable Neil Lanté van der Poel. I've lost Honorable Neil Lanté van der Poel on the line, but we'll try and get him back. Mr. Akumsin, let's stay on. Honorable Neil Lanté van der Poel's line dropped. Now, your thinking is that the best way is to seize the textiles from the market. And secondly, you think that the decision to stop the task force, the Textile Workers Union, were not consulted. Now, let's talk about the impact of this on the local textile companies. How severe is this going to hit them?
Look, why are we so worried? Look, the factory owners are threatening to lay off. Because you see, December is a peak season for the industry.
Right.
Both who smuggle and those who are doing genuine business. It's a peak season. And so if at this peak season, they are not receiving orders to print, and you go to the market, you see their product displayed there. Products that have not been manufactured in Ghana. How will you feel? So they are saying that, look, me, I'm even being accused. And they are saying that me, I speak for the government. And so I know what is going on, and I don't want to tell them. So they will sack the workers.
But is that
the union to lead?
Is that the case?
If they don't have orders to produce, to print, how do they keep their workers? They want to send them home. So the problem that I have is that, you see, I don't know, but I hope that it is not a policy, a new policy, to change this whole thing that, nobody should go to the market, go and then check this illicit trading. If that is a new policy, it's okay for them. If they go to China to go and borrow money, come and, subsidize their budget, that's one they should continue to do it.
Mr. Combs, hold the line. We need to keep talking. We don't need to get a hold the line. Let me play you a sound of the Market Traders Association of Accra, who thinks that the problem is rather at our port instead of the market that you're talking about. Let's listen to them. I'll come back to you.
We are humbly appealing to you, please strengthen the borders and the airports and the harbors so that the goods will not get into the country. If they are not into the country, the women will not buy. But it is very hurting and pathetic to see women using their meagre loans, because we are being given loans. So if the person buys the goods with the loan and the goods are collected, in fact, it is very hurting.
Right. So let me speak to the leader of the Accra Market Women Association, Madam Mercy Jan. She just joined me. Mr. Kumsin is still there. Now, Madam Mercy Jan, thanks so much for your time. First of all, now the task force being asked to stop their work. I'm sure the market women, you traders, are excited.
Yes.
Now tell me.
Hello.
Go ahead.
Yes. Yes, I'm listening. And the women are really excited because it is Xmas time and they have to get all the time and attention to do their business. But in fact, we weren't excited before because some people are pirating Ghanaian goods. No. We know that it's not good for people to pirate goods. But we are excited about the way and manner the task force comes into the market with rifles and guns, and that's what is worrying us. So if the president has given an instruction that they are coming into the market must be suspended. In fact, we are really excited.
Right. Madam Mercy, let me ask you this. Now, if you knew that you're doing genuine business, if the market women know that what they are selling is what they should sell, not pirated textile prints, why do they get scared when the task force people are there at the market?
Please, usually if even you are walking on the streets of Accra and you hear buying, whether you are buying or you are selling, whatever you are doing, at least you panic. Do you understand what I'm saying? By all means, you panic. So if we are in the market and you hear buying, whether the person is buying, selling, just passing through the market, there is a panic. Do you understand what I'm saying? So we know that what we are selling is good. Now they are explaining to us that some of the goods that come in, they add their labels. They use their labels for the imitation goods. So if we are announcing, it's only for us as leaders to advise our women not to buy those goods. And my point is, if the goods are imported, then they come through the country at particular points. that is the harbors, the airport, and this thing, borders. So I think security must be tightened at those points so that the goods don't come into the country for the women to buy.
Right. Madam Mercy, that's a good point to make, but the concern here is that the pirated textiles do not come through the harbors, the ports. They come through unapproved routes that do not have security there, and they end up at the market, and so they must be seized from the market. You don't share this view?
No, not at all. If they come to unapproved routes from and all the roads leading to the country have got so many checkpoints. Before you get into Accra, there are so many checkpoints. Before you get into Accra, you can pass through Bushpark from wherever the border is into the market. What we don't want is when the goods reach the market and the people come into the market to seize those goods. Because, most of the women use bank loans, small loans, micro loans to finance their business. So if you leave the people to come into the market, before you come into the market to collect their goods, in fact, that is not good. But they feel it's the easiest way for them to do their work. We know that, but it's not appropriate.
Madam Messijan, are you promising that your women, the market women, will ensure that they do not deal in pirated textiles? Is that a promise?
That is what the executives are going to educate the women on. Presently, we have asked the task force to show us their designs, those which is not appropriate for the women to sell. And we will advise the women not to buy them.
Thank you so much for speaking to Madam Messijan, is leader of the Greater Accra Market Traders Association. Let me wrap up with Mr. Abraham Kumsin. Mr. Kumsin, are you there?
I'm here.
Thank you so much. Now, this is the situation. There is a promise that they can ensure that these textiles are stopped on the market. Is this something that can work?
Look, I started this work not today. These women, yeah, once you arrange, we come and meet there. They will come. They sit there, I sit there. And I will demonstrate to them that this woman is lying. They don't know. You don't know what. Look, there are publications in the dailies about series of engagement that we have had with these women. To the extent that even Kumasi, the executives came. We thought they were coming to the transport yard. I sent a car to go and pick them, to bring them to where we were meeting. Kumasi, 2011. When the car went to the distance, they said, no, they came by air. I called, they said, they are at the airport. I said, there were 6. They came by air. I'm not saying that, it is, but 2011, traveling from Kumasi to Accra by air, it was money. So what I'm saying is that we have had occasions to talk to them. They are aware. The one who is talking, if you like, arrange. Please, arrange for us to meet in your studios. Then I will prove to her that she is lying. They know what they are doing. But you see, at the end of the day, they make money. The money they get, they use to look after their children, to go to high institutions. They come back and there's no work for them. You come to my office, you will see a heap of applications. There's no work. Can they employ them in the market? So any government that has a policy of encouraging this smuggling, look, tomorrow, if you like, I will bring you a footage, a recording, a news item by Ghana television.
Right.
Women, no, let me land. I'm taking your time. But you see,
no, go ahead.
The cloth was smuggled. They hid these bales of cloth under a metal mass, but near the engine, they not even able to. They found a means of hiding this cloth there from Aflao up to Ashama or barrier. Even there, the customs people could not detect it. When the car was about to move, then they saw some smoke coming out from this bus. Before it could say jack, the whole bus got bent, and the birds of crop started dropping one after. The footage is there. I will make enough copies and send them around. So, you see, it is not normally possible for customs officers or police people at the borders to be able to detect some of this. It is not possible. They are doing it. They are destroying the economy.
What can the Textile Workers Union do in this situation at this time?
Me, I think that I've done what God has mandated me to do.
Are you giving up? Are you giving up?
No, the workers. No, I'm not giving. But see, the workers themselves are coming. They have written to the police today. They have given the police 5 days. So after that, they are coming onto the street. All the textile workers, they are coming. If that is the language that people understand, they are coming to the street. And me, I will not stop them. I will not stop them. So they could, if they don't like the police to, protect them or to escort the task force, when the workers are coming, they themselves should go for batons themselves. They shouldn't bring police people to come and protect them. The workers are coming onto the street. I'm telling you this. Next week, they are coming onto the street. If they want to suspend, they should suspend. But you see, if it is government that came out with this statement,
right,
I will be very, very sad. They are very, very sad because they have not assessed the cost of losses to the state in terms of revenue. And they have come out to stop this thing. They should stop it. And they go to China to go and borrow money.
Right.
Come and support their budget.
Thank you so much for speaking to me, Mr. Abraham Kumsin, as the Secretary General of the Textiles and Leather Workers Union of Ghana. We've been talking about government decision to stop the work of a task force expected to go and seize pirated textiles on the market. We have more right on this very channel, on this station. Today's big story is not ending yet. Don't forget that we're ending tomorrow. Is a holiday for farmers, and we'll be talking about farmers on the other side of the show. That is the interactive segment. I'm coming back in a moment. Stay right there. Right, thanks so much for staying there. If your stomach is full, you have to say a prayer for the farmer. It's Farmers Day. Let's salute all of them tomorrow as they celebrate one more the life of that great farmer. And tonight on Interactive, we're talking about that farmer who has been feeding you. Welcome, Mariam.
Thank you. How are you?
I'm great because I have eaten and my stomach is full and graciously the farmers are so working.
Yes, I had lunch.
Their difficulties.
I had lunch before I came to, and God bless the farmers for everything that they do, with the toil, the pain, the anguish that they go through, have to wait for, to sow and then reap before we get to eat. It's fantastic.
A lot of talk will be on the farmers tonight.
A lot of talk will be on the farmers, but we're also asking the new generation, would they go into farming? And so many comments have been coming through, and it breaks my heart to think that they don't want to.
My ambition for 2014 is to become my district best farmer.
Really?
Really, that's what I want to do.
I'll follow you. I want to rear goats.
Welcome to the show, Mariam.
Thank you so much. Let's get interactive. My name is Mariam Toure. Welcome back. As we get interactive, I'd like to announce all the social media tools that you need to get in touch with the show. You'll find us on facebook.com/joynews-on-TV. Like our page and comment on every post we put there, and we will share all your comments with the rest of the world. If you're sending us a tweet, please send it to Joy News on TV. That is our Twitter handle, and use the hashtag JNInteractiveGH, so we'll be able to sort all your comments at once and then take them. If you're sending us email, send it to joynews im@multitvworld.com, and the WhatsApp number is 0260-518-801. I am on Twitter too, and I tweet at MN Toure. And JN Interactive is where tech meets news to set the agenda. So today, technology is meeting farming, and we're talking about it tomorrow. As we all know, is National Farmers Day, and the National Farmers Day is commemorated each year on the first Friday of December to honor our gallant farmers and fishers. The event acknowledged the vital position farmers and fishers occupy in the national socio-economic development. In particular, Ghana acknowledges farmers and fishers' untiring effort at feeding our growing population, providing raw material to the nation's industries, and contributing substantially to the nation's foreign exchange earnings. In lieu of the celebration, which will be commemorated tomorrow in Sogokope in the Volta region, we are looking at the agriculture sector in Ghana. And our cameras have caught up with you. We are asking the entire agri sector in Ghana, what do you think about the industry? Let's take our first video blog. We'll come back and take some comments.
When I think about the agriculture industry in Ghana, we have a long way to go. That is one, because our food security in the system, I don't think is the best compared to other countries.
Most of the time, those of us who went to the boarding houses, when you do something wrong, they have to go and weed as punishments. So it made many of the youth of our age didn't have that interest in farming. So I believe that have kept a lot of the youth away from farming. But I believe that agriculture in Ghana is picking up. It's not got to the stage whereby we could get everything from here, but I believe that it's picking up day in and day out.
Let's just say I have much to eat. Everybody has much to eat. So I think it's going on well. And the farmers, though they are complaining, they don't have much to, bring out foodstuffs. But I'm sure if the government should put in his best, something good will come out. So I think we should celebrate Farmers Day.
I think that the agriculture industry in Ghana is moving on very good, because as we be getting like food and those stuffs, I think everything is good.
Yeah, and as long as he gets food to eat, there's food on his table, then farming is good for him. In our next video blog, we are asking, the people we met on the street whether they would actually consider going into farming. So let's take a listen to what they said in our next video blog.
Well, I will, because I know there's a lot of money in it. But then it's because I've changed my mind. I really have much reading about agriculture, and I think that is something that I can venture into. And I believe that there's a lot of money in it.
No, I don't. Because I was training, I live around the city. I'm a guy. There's no land for farming. And so definitely, no.
Why not? If only I have the strength to do that, I will do it. Because my mom farms. So what's wrong if I should visit my mom in the village and she goes like, Ajua, let's go to the farm. Why don't I follow my mom to the farm? So it's a good thing.
No. Because that's not my aim. If I have the chance. I'll do it.
So considering that farming has evolved a lot from the days when, the farmers used cutlasses and hoes, to farm animals, we are asking, again, if you do decide to engage in farming, how would you go about it? Would it be mechanized farming? Would it still be the old-fashioned? Or you'd use everything? So let's take our next video blog, and when we come back, we'll talk to a resource person.
No, with the level of education I've had, I believe that I need to go in with technology. That is the best way that I think will bring much more profits.
For now, if I'm going to farm, because there is a new item that we use for farming, because those things are old systems that we use for farming. But now we have new technology that we use for farming, and so I'll use the new one, which is...
When I was with my grandparents, experience. We use cutlasses and the hoes and so on. But now everything has changed. And so the good things that they use for farming, like the tractors, that has to be provided to the, how do you call it, the farmers.
So you are using the old system, you can't get what you want. That is one thing. You know, we are now modernizing everything. So I think the government should support in terms of equipment, tractor and other stuff.
We are in the computer world now. Everything is being upgraded. So it's not going to be like it should be the colors, the host to the farm. You understand? At least we should upgrade ourselves into the next, so that we can also come out with something good.
So some comments have come in on social media, and we'll take them now. And the precursor is all there. And the question is that would you consider going into farming? That's the big one. And so many have come in. Majida Wudu from Gushegu says, why not, Marian? However, unlike the other countries, it is unfortunate in Ghana because the poor farmers continue to be poor and the rich ones continue to be rich. Now, my question is, if farmers decide to go on strike, that is not to farm or not to sell their farm produce to anybody. What will happen to the in the next few years? Philip says, Marian, let me tell you something. Our ministers think they are wiser than farmers. When this day occurs, they promise them, many things. But after that, they will turn their back on them, which shouldn't happen like this. Just ask the youth who have interest in farming. If we want our nation not to grow well, we should provide the farmers with the needed farming inputs. God bless all the farmers in Ghana. Thank you. Kwabena says, hooray, Nananum farmers, we cherish your works. God bless farmers. God bless me. So you're a farmer too. I echo to them. I want to use this opportunity to wish our hard-working farmers happy Farmers Day in advance. May God richly bless them. Marian, I think all the youth that are dependent on the government for jobs must go into farming, and that is coming from Newton Jeffers. I agree with you, really, 100% agree with you, that there are lots and lots of opportunity in farming, that, you become your own boss, in fact. And it's not just, food stuff. You can rear cattle, fish farming, and so many other things. So it'll be a really great idea. And who knows, 2014, I might rear some goats myself or some hens. And then I'll take some video blogs of them and then show them to you. So let's all resolve to do something for farming in this country in the next year. God's way before he's sending this from Donko Chrome in their farm plains. First of all, congratulations to all our noble farmers. But entering into farming without the support from government, then I can only farm to feed my families, but not the nation at large. And I think I can understand where you're coming from. Ejayam Ponsa, we thank our farmers for their hard work towards the production of our daily foods. May they be awarded in full. Wow, fantastic. Farming is the bedrock of our survival. The government should initiate good reforms to make farming very, very attractive. And thank you for all the comments that have been coming in. But speaking about farming, there is an initiative, because we know that farming has changed from when we used to use cutlasses and hoes. We're now using technology to farm. And you would hear about what you think about the technology in our next video blog. But before that, I have a resource person here. His name is Donald Ward. He is an entrepreneur, and he's also with Google. They're doing something about mapping, how farmers can use mapping, to help with their crop yield and everything. So he's here and he'll help us with it. Hello, welcome.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
Very good, and you?
I'm fabulous. So please just explain what mapping is to us.
So mapping is pretty much picking a coordinate from a physical location and putting it onto a digital platform, which is a direct translation of the layout of the surface of the earth.
Okay.
It sounds pretty confusing, but
no, I don't think I'm confused because perhaps I'm a bit techy, so I can understand. So it just means that if I have an 80 by 100 plot, all I know is that from the four corners of my plot, you would map and then tell me that this is your 80 by 100.
Yes, that's one way of doing it.
Okay.
You can determine the actual size of the plot, which is determining where exactly the 80 by 100 is supposed to sit on that land. Then again, you can map the plot such that you demarcate where you want to put what.
Okay.
Now for agriculture, it is good farmers map their lands because it doesn't only inform them about the size of their land, it doesn't only inform the kind of crops they should, grow on their land and where to grow which particular crops, but mapping goes a little further to tell you what kind of landmarks you have, what kind of soil structure you have, and all. It depends on who is doing your mapping for you, and it depends on how well the technocrat who is assisting you in mapping your land is vested in what he is supposed to be doing for you in the first place.
Okay, so what I'm getting is that if my land is mapped properly, then I'll be able to know which crops would grow on which part of my land, and so perhaps get better yields.
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's basically just it. So for farmers, they need what we call the GPS tracking system to be able to tell where exactly their farms are located. Now, when you go to any advanced well, you realize that farmers are the biggest yielders, not because of anything, because they have deployed modern digital technology to help them improve their stuff. I'm sleeping and I just have to push a button on my computer and my farm is being watered, right?
Okay.
Now, when it comes to the mapping, that is when you know that if I have a sprinkler at this particular point, it would cover, 100 square meter. So therefore, whoever is your GIS expert or whoever is your mapping expert would then have to tell you from this point to this point, you need one sprinkler here, or from this point to this point, you need some kind of technology to help your crop perform better.
Okay, so let's say I'm not trying to be derogatory here, but let's say I am an illiterate farmer. And you have come to me somewhere in Donkokrum to help me with my farm. Help me understand why I need it.
So it's very simple. If you have a property and you don't really know what the property is, one, if you don't know the color of the property, you're losing it outrightly. Two, if you don't know who possessed the property before you have access to it, you're losing it to whoever it is that possessed it before you. Now, and then again, if you don't know how to use the property, then there's no need for you to have it in the first place. So at the long run, someone would either come and steal it from you or you give it to the person. So with our farmers who probably do not understand the technical terms, I think the best way to make them understand is, you have this property. We are trying to help you maximize the use of it. You have the land. You know how you demarcate your land. You have the rice farm this way. You have the yam this way. You have the was it chili at this point,
we have
right?
cassava.
You have cassava and all. How well are you positioning them on your plot? Now, I don't have personal experience in agricultural mapping, but learning from a very good friend of mine who does a lot of consultative work for the government and others, I have learned that there are certain crops that should not sit next to others. So if there is an expert mapping person over there, he tells you that this place, make sure you put this crop here, and this next place, make sure you put this crop here, because they complement each other nutritionally from the soil. One doesn't suck more than the other,
right?
And everything goes back in there.
So why should a farmer consider this? And if, let's say, a farmer is considering using mapping, how would they be able to access it?
For the very same reasons that I have been, iterating over the past few minutes, which are: one, you need to know the size of your property or your farmland. Two, you need to know what crop you're supposed to grow at which particular point. And three, you need to demarcate what you need to be on the plot. You need to demarcate where your crops go. You need to demarcate, the routes for your tractors and your plows. You need to demarcate routes for yourself, and that makes life easier for everybody. So if you're a farmer out there and you're considering the fact that you want to maximize the use of your land or the produce of your land. One of the best ways to do it is to go digital, get a consultant to assist you map your plot and demarcate exactly what you have to demarcate.
But you see, consultants also come at a cost.
There is actually a lot of funding for agriculture.
Okay.
There are government funds that are paying consultants to map places for people for free.
Okay.
There are donor funds that are paying consultants, especially through IFAD, that is paying consultants to go and map farms, even for smallholder farmers.
Okay.
Not just the large commercial farmers, but the smallholder farmers. So if you're even a smallholder farmer and you think it's a cost for you or a cost to you to map your property, go to some of these donor organizations. Trust me, it's not as difficult as it seems.
Okay.
It's really very easy to get some funds to assist you with putting your plots right and putting your farmland right.
Okay. So we'll break it off and then take some comments. So if anybody needs their land to be mapped, your farm especially to be mapped, you can get in touch with us. We'll get you in touch with Donald Ward, and then he would help you to do everything that you need to do, because the sector is very, very important and it's crucial to all of us here in the country. I'll take some comments before we take our final video blog, and this one is coming from Mutala Gomda. He says, another time of the year has come where we come out to honor our gallant farmers for their tremendous efforts to feed the whole of Ghana and beyond. This calls for us to take much more critical look into our farming sector and make sure we give it the needed attention. It's high time we take into account the modern trends of farming to have high yields at the end of the season, and that is where this mapping comes in. Most of our farmers are doing their best, but due to inadequate storage facilities and bad road network, most of the food stuff do not get to the final consumer, and the farmer also loses a lot. I urge government to provide them with storage facilities and good road networks to their farms. I plan of going into commercial farming within the shortest time, and I have high ambition of becoming the national best farmer. By the way, Marian, your Farmers Day gifts is on. Oh, my Farmers Day gifts! Ah, fantastic! Mutala, I've been looking forward to it. It's like crazy. But I don't know what you grow on your farms, whether it's onions or, but I cook, so thank you so much. I'll be looking forward to it. And Bonaventure says, farming in Ghana is a waste of time and labor, and I'll not waste my time even thinking of starting a farm. God bless Ghanaian farmers. No, don't say that. AJ says that they're always good and always help us, so they should be celebrated. I wish farmers well. And my regards to Gabriel Mensah at Zero House. Oh, wow. You've managed to actually get a shout out on JN Interactive. Fantastic. And thank you so much for all your comments. So finally, before you go, you have spoken to us extensively about mapping, but I want the farmer who is out there, because we've had technologies that can press your mobile phone, do this, do that. It won't be laborious, would it?
Actually, the farmer doesn't have to do it by themselves.
Okay.
And tomorrow is Farmers Day.
Yes.
We at the Google Business Groups have decided to do some mapping around the country.
Okay.
So we are mapping parts of Accra, Tema, Kumasi, Tamale, and Koforidua.
Fantastic.
Now we're looking out for agro and agri-businesses, farms that are within the communities and around the communities. So if you're a farmer and you actually have a farm, or you have your own house and you want it to be noted on the map. Especially on Google Maps, you can just contact us by sending an email to GBG Accra, GBG, as in G for girl, B for boy, and G again for girl, Accra @gmail.com. And wherever you are, would send the information to the rightful office, and they would come assist you with putting your place on the map.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you too.
Thank you. And we'll take our final video blog, and we are asking our farmers in Ghana taking advantage of the new technological advancements that have come. Let's take our last video blog.
If somebody is in farming and is illiterate, how can he go into that? If a farmer is well trained, he knows something about agric, not somebody making a backyard garden and so on, but somebody who is in real farming, I think it's good for him to use those terms.
I don't think so, because if you go to rural area, they still practice what their forefathers taught them.
I think it's only a few Maybe due to the economic situation of the country, many people think that maybe the technological way is so expensive and that they might not be able to go by it, but they would prefer the weeding, the cutlass one. But I believe there's only a few that goes into the higher level of farming.
Okay, and that's where we drop the curtains for today. Bright Anful is back so that we can wrap up together.
Right, we're wrapping up and getting into the holiday mode, but we'll be telling you later on that the Dade Kotopon Municipal Assembly has demolished unauthorized structures at Labone Junction towards Yosu Children's Home. The Assembly says the exercise is to make way for the smooth movement of vehicles and pedestrians. It explains further that being a ceremonial route, it has to be street hawkers free.
And also to expect news at 8 with Israel Laye. Former chairman of the National Disability Council, Andrew Okaikwe, has come to the rescue of the Mompong Senior High Technical School for the Deaf by paying half of the 14,000 Ghana cedis rent arrears owed the landlords. The owners of the properties which accommodates the school have threatened to throw out the over 200 students and their teachers unless they make good their rent, which has been in default for more than 2 years. The Ghana Education Service, meanwhile, is yet to decide on how to support the school. Yep.
Right, so we salute our farmers, and for tomorrow we'll be there with you during the various celebrations across the country. Congratulations once again, and Joy News Exclusive is coming up right after this. My name is Bright Nananfo.
And my name is Marian Ture, and we will also dedicate tomorrow's GN Interactive to our farmers. Have a good evening.